Prepare yourself for unbelievable stories of epic proportions as we delve into the world of enormous objects raining down upon us. Whether it's gold bars and diamonds cascading from above, or the horrifying experience of being disfigured by flying fish, it's clear that mere umbrellas won't suffice as protection. Strap on a helmet and come with us as we explore the surreal and eccentric tales of 20 terrifying incidents where massive objects plummeted from the heavens. Number 1. Catfish smacks woman. Imagine yourself strolling along on a sunny day, minding your own business, when suddenly something wet and slimy smacks you in the face. Looking down, you spot a squirming catfish on the pavement. You question whether you're dreaming, hallucinating, or the target of a prank. But no, this is reality. This is what happened to Lisa Labrie, a woman from Philadelphia who was struck in the face by a catfish that descended from the sky. What caused this peculiar incident? According to experts, the most plausible explanation is that a predatory bird like an eagle or osprey snatched the fish from a nearby river and was soaring above the city before accidentally dropping its meal. The fish, weighing approximately 5 pounds and measuring 16 inches long, impacted Lisa's head with such force that she was knocked to the ground and left with a sizable gash. Believe it or not, fish raining from above is more common than you'd think. In reality, there's even a scientific term for it: ichthytic meteorology. This term refers to the occurrence of fish and other aquatic creatures being lifted into the air by waterspouts or other weather phenomena, then transported over land before being randomly dropped. Occasionally, these events can result in fish showers that span large areas and create an impressive spectacle. So the next time you venture outside, stay alert and keep an eye out for falling objects. You truly never know what might come crashing down. Number 2. Sunrise pillars. Have you ever witnessed a massive beam of light emerge from the horizon resembling a cosmic laser pointer? It's not a result of alien invasion or an indication of the end of the world. It's known as a sun pillar, a natural occurrence caused by sunlight reflecting off ice crystals. Sun pillars create visual illusions, giving the impression of a vertical stream of light originating from the sun or other luminous sources. Sun pillars emerge when the sun is near the horizon, during sunrise or sunset. The atmosphere contains minuscule ice crystals with flat surfaces and hexagonal shapes. These crystals function as mirrors, redirecting sunlight in various directions. Some of the reflected sunlight reaches our eyes, creating a radiant spot in the sky. However, due to the random orientation of the crystals, some of them reflect sunlight parallel to the horizon, resulting in a streak of light that appears vertical despite being horizontal. The color, brightness, and length of sun pillars vary based on the sun's position, the size and shape of the ice crystals, and atmospheric conditions. As the sun traverses the sky, the color of sun pillars can transition from yellow to orange to red. Sun pillars can also occur alongside other light sources like the moon, streetlights, or fireworks. So to conclude, sun pillars are not terrifying objects descending from above, but rather magnificent phenomena rising from the earth. They pose no harm or danger, but rather captivate with their harmless and stunning nature. Number 3. Boiled bats. In Australia, during an intense heat wave in January, there were horrifying instances of bats plummeting from the sky. The scorching temperatures rose above 104 degrees Fahrenheit, making it unbearable for the bats. Normally, bats regulate their body temperature through methods like panting, sweating, and finding shade. But the oppressive heat and aridity caused them to experience heat stress and dehydration. Consequently, the bats would lose consciousness and drop from their roosts, with some even perishing before hitting the ground. However, the reason behind the bats becoming boiled lies in their proximity to a boiling water tank at a power station in New South Wales. As they fell, they tragically landed in the scalding water, resulting in them being cooked alive. To rectify this, workers at the power station utilized nets and gloves to retrieve the deceased bats from the tank. The boiled bats were not the only casualties during the heat wave, as numerous other bats also fell from the sky across various regions of Australia, creating a health risk and an unpleasant odor. This incident served as a distressing reminder of how wildlife is impacted by climate change. Bats play a crucial role in pollinating plants and controlling pests, so losing them can have severe repercussions for the ecosystem. In response, the Australian government and conservation groups have made efforts to support the surviving bats by supplying them with water and shade. Number 4. Fallen Angel. Coming up next, we will discuss angels. However, it's important to note that we're not referring to the divine messengers found in various religions and myths. Instead, we are focusing on a distinct angel that was captured falling from the sky in Indonesia in 2012. The footage of this event quickly spread across the internet and depicts a bright object descending from the clouds with a loud thud upon landing. Resembling a human figure with wings and a halo, dressed in white, the object appears motionless and potentially unconscious on the grass. A security guard at a luxurious Jakarta hotel recorded the video, claiming to witness the angel's descent and rushing to investigate. He reported feeling a warm sensation and detecting a pulse when he touched it. Additionally, he claimed to hear a voice instructing him not to be afraid. So what exactly was this enigmatic being? Was it truly an angel or something else entirely? As it turns out, the angel was, in fact, an intricate and highly convincing hoax. The investigation revealed that the angel was a life-sized doll created by a specialized company that crafts realistic dolls for various purposes, including art, photography, and education. The company verified that the doll featured in the video was one of their products, which had been sold to a customer in Indonesia. However, it's worth questioning if this is the true story or merely what they want us to believe. Number 5. Holy water. Let's examine an unusual event that occurred in Russia in 2019. A group of Russian Orthodox priests chose to pour 70 liters of holy water from an airplane over the city of Tver in an attempt to cure the residents of sins like drinking and engaging in promiscuous activities. These priests explained that they were following an ancient ritual known as the Airborne Epiphany, which is meant to bless large areas of land. To enhance the purity and effectiveness of the water, they also added salt. However, not everyone welcomed this divine shower. Some inhabitants expressed fear due to the sudden splashing of water on their windows and roofs. Concerns about the environmental impact of the waste were also voiced. In jest, some even speculated that the priests intended to drown sinners or initiate a zombie apocalypse. Local authorities stated that they had not been informed about the flight and declared their intention to investigate whether any laws had been violated. The priests defended their actions, citing years of performing the ritual and positive feedback from the public. They claimed to have witnessed miracles, including healing illnesses and enhancing crop growth. They argued that the holy water was harmless and beneficial, capable of purifying the city from its vices and troubles. Now let's move on to today's missing topic. Scientists are utterly astounded by what fell from the sky. An unidentified entity was seen descending to the ground after hovering for several hours. Crowds gathered to observe the figure from afar, using binoculars and cameras. They observed a glowing, shapeless object suspended in the air, yet when they focused their vision, it suddenly plummeted to the earth. This photograph captures the being with chicken-like legs, representing the sole remaining evidence. Following the photo, the entity vanished as mysteriously as it had appeared. With minimal evidence besides the dirt, scientists can only speculate on the nature of the falling object. So we would like to hear your thoughts. Could this be an extraterrestrial being? What caused it to float in the sky and subsequently fall? Where did it vanish? Share your opinions below in the comments using the hashtag #MissingTopic. Number 6. Blood rain. Imagine waking up one morning to discover your backyard completely covered in blood. Visualize the chaos and confusion as blood poured down from the sky, resembling a scene straight out of your worst nightmares. This disturbing phenomenon actually occurred in Sri Lanka in 2012. What caused this puzzling red rain? Was it truly blood? Let's investigate. The red rain was first observed in November 2012 by residents of several villages in Sri Lanka. It lasted for approximately 15 minutes, leaving behind rainwater with a distinctive blood-like appearance and odor. Some individuals even experienced skin rashes and eye irritations attributed to the rain. Local authorities were completely bewildered by this bizarre occurrence. They sent samples of the rainwater to various laboratories for analysis, and the results were even more astonishing. The rainwater contained living cells resembling blood cells, but without any DNA. Some scientists put forth the hypothesis that these cells might be of extraterrestrial origin, potentially carried by a meteorite that exploded in the atmosphere. Others suggested they could be a form of algae or fungus that thrived within the clouds. Nevertheless, none of these theories could explain how the cells managed to survive the extreme temperatures and UV radiation in the upper atmosphere, nor did they clarify why these cells only manifested in a localized area of Sri Lanka. The mystery still persists to this day, with unanswered questions regarding the origin, source, and reason behind the blood-like rain. Number 7. The Great Kentucky Meat Shower. Now let's explore the enigmatic occurrence known as the Kentucky Meat Shower that took place in 1876. Yes, it's true, there was an actual shower of meat, as if chunks of flesh were raining down from above. The cause of this event has been a perplexing puzzle for scientists and historians for more than 100 years. During the incident, a farmer's wife named Mrs. Crouch was in her yard making soap when she noticed something peculiar. She raised her gaze and witnessed meat fragments, measuring about 2 by 2 inches, descending from the heavens. These pieces covered an area of approximately 100 by 50 yards, some even landing on her fence and roof. The meat shower captivated the local community and attracted the attention of the media. Some individuals gathered samples of the meat, while others, driven by curiosity or bravado, tasted it. The meat was described as fresh, though it emitted an unpleasant odor, and it was identified as various types of animal flesh, including beef, lamb, deer, horse, bear, and even human. Despite extensive investigations, the source of the meat shower remains an unsolved enigma. Several theories have been put forward, yet none of them provide conclusive or satisfying explanations. Among the most popular hypotheses are that a flock of vultures overhead regurgitated the meat, or that it was carried by a powerful wind from a nearby slaughterhouse or battlefield. The truth may forever remain elusive, but there is no denying that the Kentucky meat shower stands out as one of the most horrifying sky-bound phenomena in history. Number 8. Dollars on highway. While driving on a busy freeway, these individuals experienced the surreal sight of money falling from the sky. Although it may sound like a dream come true, the reality was far from ideal. The chaos ensued as an armored truck accidentally spilled cash all over the road, prompting drivers to scramble and seize the bills. The California Highway Patrol explained that the armored truck, carrying a substantial amount of money, somehow lost its rear door, causing the cash to soar out of the vehicle. Witnessing this unexpected windfall, drivers promptly halted their cars and rushed to gather as much money as possible. This impromptu cash-gathering frenzy resulted in a significant traffic buildup and jeopardized safety as drivers maneuvered between vehicles, striving to reach the scattered bills. Authorities stressed that taking the money was an unlawful act and strongly urged those who had taken it to return it promptly to avoid prosecution. They emphasized possessing video evidence and license plate numbers of those involved in the incident. Interestingly, this is not the first occurrence of an armored truck shedding its money on a freeway. A similar incident transpired in New Jersey in 2018, where eager drivers also stopped to claim the scattered cash. Similarly, in 2019, another armored truck in Indiana disgorged its load of coins on a highway, resulting in a gleaming mess. Therefore, if you ever find yourself witnessing money descending from the heavens, it would be wise to reconsider joining the pandemonium. The risk and consequences may outweigh the temptation. Number 9. Falling clouds. The Beta Ferris area, located near the eastern oasis town of Al Ain, had a peculiar incident resembling the childhood tale of Chicken Little. Instead of the sky, a massive white cloud-like structure was seen descending from above. This fluffy substance floated close to the ground, resembling a giant cotton ball, before gradually dropping and settling on a fence. Although the wind caused some smaller pieces to break off and scatter, the majority of the cloud remained attached. Just imagine strolling down the street and unexpectedly encountering this enormous, pillowy cloud resting nonchalantly on a fence. It would undoubtedly be a remarkable sight to behold. One cannot help but wonder how it would feel if one could reach out and touch it. Would the texture resemble fluffy cotton candy, or would it be more akin to a damp sponge? The person who recorded this event expressed their astonishment, stating that had they not witnessed and captured it themselves, they would not have believed it. They perceived this occurrence as a miracle, providing testament to the power of God. However, the National Center for Meteorology and Earthquakes has a different explanation. According to them, the video showcased not an actual cloud, but rather artificial foam. This is due to the fact that clouds cannot fall to the ground, and if they collide with an object, they merely pass through it like air. The supposed cloud was, in fact, harmless artificial foam often utilized in ceremonies and similar occasions. Therefore, although it initially appeared as a frightening object descending from the sky, it turns out to be nothing more than innocuous foam. Number 10. Russian gold. In Russia, a cargo plane experienced a malfunction while in flight, and the result was the unanticipated opening of the hatch, causing the valuable platinum, gold, and diamonds to descend back to Earth. The plane had to make an emergency landing, with reports indicating that certain gold bars were scattered up to a distance of 15 miles. The runway was sealed off by the police, and whether it was an accidental occurrence or a deliberate heist remained unclear. Just picture the scene at the runway, witnessing gold bars descending from the sky. It seems like something straight out of a movie. Instead of finding a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow, it was due to an unfortunate malfunction of a cargo plane that resulted in valuable materials being spilled all around. However, it's fortunate that the incident didn't involve any dangerous objects like meteors or space debris. It was just good old-fashioned gold bars. Consider what the individuals must have been thinking at the runway. One moment they were simply going about their usual activities, and the next they were dodging gold bars falling from above. And what about the people on the plane? Were they aware of what transpired? Could they hear the hatch opening and witness their precious cargo vanishing into thin air? Furthermore, what became of the gold? Was it all retrieved, or did a few fortunate bystanders stumble upon some stray bars and decide to keep them? The possibilities are truly staggering. Regardless, this incident serves as a reminder that you can never anticipate what may unexpectedly descend from the sky. Number 11. Worms rain. Just envision waking up one day to discover worms covering your car, your street, and even your hair. That's exactly what occurred in a Chinese city during an unusual phenomenon known as worm rain in March 2023. According to local media, the city of Jianan in Shandong province experienced a torrential downpour mixed with worms. These worms resembled earthworms and measured around 3 centimeters in length. People observed them crawling on the ground, vehicles, and even on clothing. Several witnesses captured videos of this worm rain and shared them on social media, leading to their rapid viral spread. Viewers were both startled and disgusted by the slimy creatures descending from the sky. Some speculated that strong winds had lifted the worms from nearby fields or rivers, while others humorously suggested it might signal the apocalypse. But how did these worms manage to reach the clouds? According to experts, 2 possible explanations exist. One theory proposes that the worms were carried aloft by a waterspout, which is a water tornado that sucks up anything in its path. Another possibility is that the worms formed part of a bird's diet and were either regurgitated or dropped while the birds were in midair. So, if you hear thunder next time, exercise caution before stepping outside. It would be prudent to investigate what's falling from the sky. You never know when you might encounter a worm rain or something even more unpleasant. Number 12. Meteorite-like object. In the town of Sanchore in Rajasthan, a puzzling event occurred when a meteorite-like object suddenly fell from the sky. The locals were left bewildered as this 6-pound object created a 1-foot-deep crater upon impact. The fall was accompanied by a loud explosion-like sound that could be heard for approximately 1.5 miles. Curious about the crash, the residents hastily gathered at the site and were amazed to discover the object, which emitted intense heat at that time. After allowing it to cool down, the object was carefully placed in a jar and transported to the local police station. To shed light on its nature, the authorities had it analyzed in a private laboratory, which determined that it contained metallic properties of germanium, platinum, nickel, and iron. Currently, the object is being investigated by scientists at the St. Shore police station. It's truly remarkable to imagine the thoughts that must have raced through the minds of the people in Sanchoris town during this incident. One moment they were simply going about their everyday lives, and the next they were startled by a massive explosion and rushing to witness the aftermath. The officials who responded to the scene must have been equally perplexed about the nature of this unexpected occurrence. Undoubtedly, it was a spectacle to behold and quite a terrifying experience. Nevertheless, it is fortunate that the object turned out to be something relatively harmless, unlike a genuine meteor. Instead, it remains a mysterious metallic item that has left everyone perplexed. Number 13. Giant hailstones. During a thunderstorm, the tapping sound on your windows is easily recognizable, serving as a clear reminder from nature that it can quickly disrupt your day. Rather than a flock of vengeful birds, it was a violent hailstorm that afflicts Spain with severe consequences. Recently, a person tragically lost their life and approximately 50 individuals sustained injuries after being struck by enormous hailstones during a powerful storm in Catalonia. Local authorities have confirmed these reports. The residents characterized the hailstorm as a terrifying 10-minute ordeal, as unexpectedly, unusually large hailstones, measuring up to 5 inches wide, pelted the town, causing people to frantically seek shelter. Initially, a small droplet of supercooled water begins its journey, but instead of condensing into a raindrop and descending to the ground, it freezes onto a condensation nucleus, such as dust or dirt, that is lifted into the storm. As hailstones travel through the thunderstorm, they are propelled by the wind and accumulate water on their surface. The hailstones grow larger as more water freezes onto them, creating layers of ice akin to an onion. Eventually, the hailstones become too heavy for the updraft to support, causing them to plummet to the earth. This must have been an extremely powerful storm for hailstones of this size to occur in Spain, marking the largest hailstorm in 2 decades. Number 14. Spider rain. Following the spider storm in Australia, where millions of spiders descended from the sky, the incident was initiated by a series of floods that hit the country in June 2023, causing extensive damage and displacements. Consequently, numerous spiders had to abandon their habitats and seek higher ground for survival. Among the spiders were sheetweb spiders, a type of orb weaver that creates horizontal webs to catch insects. These arachnids possess the unique ability to employ their silk as a parachute, enabling them to float through the air and travel considerable distances. This phenomenon, known as ballooning, facilitated their widespread distribution across Australia. The sight of ballooning spiders was a frightful spectacle for Australians, akin to snowflakes or confetti cascading from the sky. As they migrated, they ensnared everything in their path, transforming the landscape into an expansive spider web. This infestation persisted for several weeks, impacting regions in New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland. According to experts, the spider plague was not unusual and would subside as weather conditions changed, resulting in the spiders dying off or moving on. They also viewed it as a positive sign of ecological recovery and biodiversity. Nevertheless, for many Australians, it instilled further fear of potential surprises falling from the sky in the future. Number 15. Strange purple substance. A family in Cheektowaga, New York woke up to discover their house engulfed in a peculiar purple substance that had descended from the sky. The substance resembled a thick, sticky slime that had splattered all over the roof, siding, windows, and even the automobiles. Uncertain of its origin, the family decided to reach out to the local news station to seek assistance in unraveling the mystery. The news crew promptly arrived at their residence, procuring samples of the substance for laboratory analysis. They also interviewed the neighbors, who recounted witnessing similar purple stains on their own homes and vehicles. The lab findings unveiled that the substance was, inconceivably, bird droppings. More specifically, it was droppings courtesy of a flock of starlings, a variety of birds that subsist on berries and fruits. As it turned out, these starlings had consumed some purple berries and subsequently traversed the neighborhood, inadvertently making their presence known through these vibrant excrements. The family found solace in the knowledge that the substance was harmless and non-toxic, but they remained irked by the mess it had caused. Hours were spent diligently scrubbing their house and vehicles with soap and water. This incident is not an isolated one, as birds have caused trouble with their droppings in the past. In 2017, an aircraft in India had to make an emergency landing due to an engine fire caused by a collision with a flock of birds. Additionally, in 2018, a woman in California pursued legal action against Disneyland after alleging that bird droppings, which landed on her face, resulted in an eye infection. Number 16. Black stones. In Italy, a seemingly ordinary day turned into something extraordinary when Mount Etna, Europe's most active volcano, unexpectedly erupted, displaying a remarkable show of flowing lava, smoke, and pumice stones. The eruption was so powerful that it released a massive cloud of organic debris into the sky. Imagine waking up to discover your surroundings covered in thousands of small, sharp, black rocks. The residents of Padara, a village close to Mount Etna's crater, experienced exactly that. Described as a rain of stones, this unusual shower lasted for several minutes and created a loud impact upon hitting the ground. Fortunately, no one was injured, but it caused inconvenience and damage. The weight of the rocks resulted in broken windows and damaged tiles, while their scorching temperature melted plastic and rubber items. The villagers had to put in considerable effort to clean up the mess and remove the stones from their properties. Moreover, due to the eruption, Sicily's airport had to temporarily shut down. Pumice stones, which are lightweight and porous rocks, form when lava rapidly cools upon contacting air or water. They have the ability to float on water and be carried through the air by strong winds or volcanic explosions. In this scenario, the pumice stones were mixed with heavier rocks and ash expelled from the volcano. As they traveled through the air, their altitude and speed decreased until they eventually fell to the ground, similar to hailstones. Number 17. Raining fish. Imagine you're strolling along the street, not paying much attention, when suddenly you hear a loud thump. You glance up and witness an unbelievable sight. Fish, yes, fish, descending from the heavens like an event from the Bible. How would you respond? Would you seek shelter? Or perhaps seize the opportunity to gather some dinner? Maybe you'd question whether you were in a dream or under the influence of hallucinations. Astonishingly, this peculiar scenario actually unfolded in Texarkana, Texas, causing quite a commotion among the unsuspecting locals. Several individuals captured the bizarre incident on their smartphones, sharing it with the rest of the world. However, how did such an extraordinary occurrence come about? How did fish end up soaring through the sky in the first place? The answer lies in a phenomenon called a waterspout. A waterspout forms when a rotating column of air and water emerges above a body of water, drawing in various objects such as fish and frogs. These objects can be carried for miles before being deposited onto land. Picture a tornado, but one that's wetter and filled with fish. Waterspouts are rare and unpredictable, popping up anywhere worldwide, although they are more prevalent in coastal regions where warm, damp air meets cold, arid air. They materialize swiftly and without warning, posing significant risks. Aside from damaging boats, structures, and power lines, waterspouts can also fling objects at high speeds, causing harm or even fatalities to people and animals. So if you happen to hear an odd noise outside, it's best not to indulge your curiosity too much. It could be something terrifying plummeting from the sky. Number 18. A wake-up call for the Earth. In Russia, a peaceful morning takes a sudden turn when a bright flash of light appears in the sky. Looking up, you witness a fireball streaking across the horizon, accompanied by a booming sound that shatters windows and knocks you off your feet. Is it a nuclear missile or a UFO? No, it's simply a meteor crashing the party. This event took place in February 2013 over the city of Chelyabinsk, when a 20-meter-wide space rock entered the Earth's atmosphere. It was hurtling at an astonishing speed of 19 kilometers per second, which is approximately 60 times faster than a bullet. As it descended through the air, the meteor heated up and detonated with a colossal force equal to 500 kilotons of TNT, roughly 30 times the power of the Hiroshima bomb. The resulting shockwave caused extensive damage to more than 7,000 buildings and caused injuries to over 1,500 individuals, mostly from flying shards of glass and debris. This meteor was the largest recorded natural object to impact the Earth since the Tunguska event in 1908, which wiped out 2,000 square kilometers of Siberian forest. Thankfully, there were no fatalities due to its high altitude and the low population density of the area. Nevertheless, it served as a frightening reminder of the potential cosmic dangers present above us. Therefore, when gazing at the sky, never forget to admire its beauty and grandeur while remaining cognizant of potential hazards. You never know when you might come across a falling star that is far from friendly. Number 19. Frozen iguanas. Imagine yourself strolling along a Florida street, enjoying the sunny weather and gentle breeze. Suddenly, your gaze is drawn upward to a green flash streaking across the sky. Is it a bird? A plane? No, it's a massive lizard hurtling towards you. This lizard measures 5 feet in length and weighs 20 pounds, armed with sharp teeth and claws. And it's not alone. Countless others are descending from the trees like raindrops, scaly and menacing. What could be causing this bizarre phenomenon? These creatures are actually iguanas, cold-blooded beings incapable of withstanding low temperatures. When the thermometer drops below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, they enter a dormant state, a sort of hibernation that safeguards them until the weather warms up. However, if they were nestled in trees during this period, they can lose their grip and experience the unavoidable power of gravity. You might be tempted to believe that these frozen reptiles are harmless or even deceased, but don't be deceived. They are very much alive, still breathing and functioning. Upon impact with the ground, your head, or even your car, they can inflict significant damage. Moreover, at any given moment, they can awaken, unleashing their fury by running amok and attacking anything in their path. This is a recurring incident, not a rare event. It takes place every winter in South Florida, where iguanas have become an invasive species without natural predators or competitors. Their population grows rapidly as they devour everything in sight, from plants to insects to eggs. They also excavate burrows that undermine sidewalks, seawalls, and buildings. Number 20. Burning UFO. On a calm evening in West Virginia, a magnificent fireball streaked across the dark sky, putting on a breathtaking display for the locals. Those who managed to capture the remarkable sight on camera initially believed they were witnessing a UFO hurtling towards our planet. However, it turned out that the fireball was, in fact, a meteor, a sizable piece of rock or metal that enters the Earth's atmosphere at high speeds, igniting and disintegrating due to friction. The meteor that graced West Virginia was estimated to have a diameter of approximately 10 feet and weighed around 4 tons. It descended into the atmosphere at a speed of approximately 45,000 miles per hour and detonated with a force equivalent to 200 tons of TNT. This explosion produced a deafening sonic boom, causing windows to rattle and people's nerves to jangle. Additionally, fragments of the meteor were scattered across a wide area, grabbing the attention of intrigued individuals who were fortunate enough to stumble upon them. For astronomers and meteor enthusiasts, the sight of this meteor was a rare and exhilarating event. They carefully studied its path and origin, ultimately determining that it originated from the asteroid belt nestled between Mars and Jupiter. Their analysis suggested that it had once been part of a larger celestial object that disintegrated millions of years ago. However, not everyone was swayed by the scientific explanation. Certain conspiracy theorists and believers in extraterrestrial life contended that the meteor was, in fact, an extraterrestrial spacecraft that crashed or was purposely downed by the military. They highlighted the absence of debris in certain areas and the peculiar shapes of some fragments as evidence supporting their claim of otherworldly involvement.